Hey guys, welcome to She Knows Arsenal. This is the second part of a show that I did with Pippa Monique. The first part of the show was on Arsenal women, and that part will be out on Wednesday. But this is the Sevilla preview that we got a chance to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you guys think. That's why there's no intro, because this is the second part. Get predictions in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys. Well, okay, so we're talking about Sevilla, so I want to gauge what your expectations for after being out of the competition for so long. What are your expectations of Arsenal in the Champions League?
Past the quarters, get to the semis and I'll be. But even that is a big ask because there's teams in there still with experience of being in Champions League recently, and we still have a squad in numbers that's a big enough squad for Champions League football and Premier League football and all the other games that we have in the calendar. But like quality wise, we have quality, but here's my problem: like we have players on the bench that are not getting a sniff, and they only get an opportunity if a player is injured or there's something wrong with a player that needs to take a break or whatever it is. And for me, that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in the players. I could be wrong. They could be all in agreement, like you're the backup guy. If we need you to come on, you come on. But there's players like Reece and Emil that for me should be getting more minutes so that when they need to step into these big games in Champions League, they're ready for it. It's not going to be like, oh my God, this is my opportunity to prove myself. So they're overdoing it and they're overcompensating. I want them to come in naturally and do and play their game or play the game that Arteta wants them to play, so that it just flows naturally as if we was to have Saka on the pitch or Trossard, whoever it is, whoever they might be replacing. But I just feel like it's going to be an interesting season. I'm going to Seville and I really expect to see a win. I went to Lens and
Yeah.
we started the game well and I was like, oh, 1-0 up, let's go. And yeah, then it all just went. I don't even know where the game was lost. I don't want to blame Raya because he kicked the ball out to. It was meant to be for tomiyasu and it went to their player and boom, counter attack goal.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just really hope we do well, obviously, because it's been a long time coming and I want to go to as many Champions League games as possible.
Yeah. It would be really disappointing, I think, to the unthinkable, go out of the group or something catastrophic like that. I think the loss against Lens for me threw everything into whack because I'm just like,
Mm.
was this not meant to be one of our easier away fixtures? I knew it was going to be difficult.
That's what everyone thought
Yeah.
though. But like I don't think anyone did their research on Lons. Like they had an amazing season last season. They were like Arsenal last season.
Yeah. I thought, I thought Sevilla would be the most difficult one because I've watched more of Sevilla and I just feel like when they get into Europe, it's just completely different. And so I was like, okay, the
Yeah.
Lens one, we can win that and then see what happens against Sevilla. The Lens game just threw everything out of the window for me. I'm just like, oof, okay. So now if we had beaten Lens, we'd pretty much be getting out. Like we'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Now Sevilla's a must win. And
Yeah.
seeing the way that our team kind of, I would say, crumbled under the lights, I would say I felt like they got swept up in the environment, the emotion. The Lens fans were up for it. And we just didn't have that same level of like confidence in what we were doing. Like the touches were bad. We were losing all the duels. We were making mistakes. And so my confidence level for Sevilla is a little like, like what's going to happen? But where are you at, in terms of going into that game? Do you feel like we have a really good chance of winning and, maybe we're overreacting a little bit, or do you think it's going to be a really difficult match?
I think it's a bit of both. I feel like it will be a difficult match because of who Sevilla are, but I feel like there'll be more confidence from the Arsenal team. I think what the issue was with the Lons game, you could feel it from the fans, and I'm sure the team were feeling it too, was the Saka situation. Like when I was at Bournemouth a few days before that game, the game kicked off and literally within 12 seconds, Saka was holding his leg and he looked bad. And he carried on literally the whole game, majority of the game. And he looked like he needed to come off after he scored. Like he looked bad. So when we saw him start against Lens, he still didn't look up for it. I don't know what's showing on the TV screens, but I'm watching him majority. I'm literally watching because I'm thinking this doesn't look right. And there was a time where a ball was played out, or it was a 1v1 something. It was him and the other player, and he didn't even try to. He didn't even chase the ball, and that's not Saka. You could see that he gave up on the run, like he gave up, and he just didn't look good. And I feel like that mental barrier of having one of your key players, the star boy, not fit and ready, it could have thrown the team off a bit. I could be wrong because they're all professionals, but you don't know. Having someone like Saka come in, losing one of your big players could affect the team.
Right.
And I felt like that was an overhang, and maybe how Arteta was treating the situation, because I feel like everyone could see that Saka didn't need to play, although we wanted him to play. So maybe that was a big cause for concern with the lack of confidence. But I feel like with everyone fit, well, not everyone, but the players that we need to be fit at this time, like if Thomas Partey comes back in, if Saka's ready to play a full 90, because he still didn't look that good the other day. What game did we just watch? Chelsea. My memory's so bad. The game against Chelsea still didn't look like the Saka we know, but if he's fit and ready to play, he played the full 90, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, if he's fit and ready to play, and we've got our players, we should have a good game. If confidence is there and we believe that we can go and get those points, we should, on our day, we can beat pretty much anyone.
Right.
So it's all about the fitness, the recovery from the Chelsea game. Odegaard needs to show up, because I was really disappointed with him against Chelsea, and we need our captain to pull out a captain's performance against Sevilla.
It's weird. Like, it's crazy because after the Lens game, I felt really shaky about the Man City game. Then we turn around and win that game. Then I was
Yeah.
more confident against Chelsea. Then we don't do well then. So I'm like, okay, so what's going to happen? Arsenal have been a little bit inconsistent, not in terms of like results necessarily, because we haven't really lost this season in the Premier League, but in terms of what level of performance. Are we going to look like we did against Chelsea, where we couldn't kick a ball to each other? Are we going to look like really locked in like we were against Man City? You know, the energy levels in both games were so different. So they need to figure out a way to rally, you know, for this game, because it's going to be a hard
They
one.
need to be.
They need to be on it.
They need to be up for it.
Did you see? I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of Sevilla versus Real Madrid, but they played each other the other day, and it was like a one draw. And like Sevilla gave Real Madrid a very difficult time. A very difficult time. It was very physical.
Hold on. Who does Sergio Ramos play for now?
Who do you think?
Was that the game?
Yeah.
Is it Sevilla?
Yeah.
Jesus. I haven't seen those highlights, but I saw something come up on my phone, and it was like Ramos and Bellingham, like, look, I think he slapped him in the face, something like that, and I saw that, just a photo.
Yeah.
And I remember, I was half asleep. I remember looking at it confused, like, why is Ramos in this picture? Completely forgot he played for Sevilla. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Completely forgot he plays for Sevilla. Okay, I'm back on track now.
Yeah. I mean, I think they rely a lot on like set pieces, obviously, because you have somebody like Ramos in your team. Set pieces are going to be important to you, and they have a new manager, so you got the new manager bounce as well, because they were poor at the beginning of the season. So it's a worry, you know, because we have to earn the right to play. You know, these Champions League teams don't seem to want to sit back and just defend and allow us to attack them. They're coming out playing their game. PSV came out, played their game. Lens came out, played their game. Sevilla are going to come out and play their game. So Arsenal need to be like really ready for it. You spoke a little bit about Odegaard. What do you think is going on with Odegaard? He hasn't really been on it this season. It's not just the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just that. What do you think it is? You know, it's fatigue, lack of balance in midfield. What is your take?
Girl, if only I knew. I've been trying to figure it out for a minute, because I think it even happened, and I hate to draw attention to it, but I think it even started to happen mainly after the contract announcement, because like he had that contract announcement. I can't remember what our next game was after that, but I think it was a home game, and I was just like, what game was it? We haven't even had that many games. Sorry, I'm getting old.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
My memories. But I remember looking and thinking, honey, like, you should be going all out. Like, we've just had this big announcement. You finally got a chant. Everyone's in love with you more than they have been before. Pull out a star performance, and we haven't seen it since that announcement. I don't know what's going on. We've got to remember, he's still quite young. He's played a lot of football. He's got a lot of responsibility on his back. I think the whole Norway situation as well, with their qualifiers, is probably affecting him. I'm just making up scenarios, but like, it's a lot. He's got a lot of responsibility at a young age. He's captain of Arsenal, he's captain of Norway. He's, suddenly got all these other things to deal with, like that he probably wouldn't have to deal with before, like all these big brand deals and all this PR stuff. And maybe just, I don't know.
It's so difficult to put your finger on because it's like he's always available. He's always on the pitch. So you figure, okay, well he's fit. Is he carrying a little bit of a knock? Is it hangover from last season? Because he spoke about, in an interview that there was a little bit of a hangover from the disappointment of last season. And I wonder if he's somebody that's struggling to get back up to the level that he was last season, especially with all the changes around him. I mean, people focus heavily on like, well, Saka and Ben are still there, but the balance of midfield is strange. Like you have Rice.
Oh yeah, it's changed.
Rice is not really the same as Partey. As great, like Rice is an exceptional player, but him and Partey are really different. And we know Granit Xhaka was doing a lot of work in there in goal scoring, defending, passing, everything. And whoever else has kind of been there hasn't really replicated that level of, performance. And so I just wonder if that is affecting him, because I can only imagine.
It's not only.
Go ahead.
It's not only the Rice situation as well, which is, like having new players to play with is obviously going to change your game. But I think we got to remember we played a lot of games, started a lot of games with Havertz in the midfield of him as well, and you can clearly see that they both wasn't on the same page. Like Odegaard likes to play those 1-2 passes, get the ball forward, and get it into the final third. He does that attacking midfield role really well, and I kind of felt like they were not getting in each other's way, but they just definitely wasn't on the same page. Even with Rice in there, it's like what Rice did the other day against Chelsea. He played a completely different midfield role. He was playing the attacking midfielder, getting forward, going on the wing. Like it's hard to gel with those players, but you're the captain. You drive the boat, so you need to be able to command that midfield and get the best out of it.
I agree with that. Like I don't want to absolve him of any sort of like responsibility. I am trying to understand why, but equally like the way that Rice dragged us back into that game against Chelsea, you kind of expect to see that from Odegaard, despite the situation not being perfect and us not playing well. You have to figure out ways to help us win games. And I thought that where Declan Rice really kind of like stood up, I thought Odegaard really struggled to like impose himself on the game in any significant way. So yeah. He's somebody that he's going to play. I've seen lineups without him in it. Be for real, you guys.
Wait, what? People are taking him out of the lineup.
Taking him out of the lineup for Sevilla. I'm like, this is a must-win game. I don't care if Odegaard is like having the worst game. I don't like. He needs to play in this game. I'm so sorry. Like, go ahead.
Who are they replacing him with? I just want to know.
I've seen lineups with Vieira and Havertz either side of Rice, and I'm just like,
do you know what though? Yeah,
Pippa, don't.
That's not Havertz in the midfield. I kind of want to see him more like false nine something, but like Vieira's not a bad shout. It's so bad that I almost forgot about him.
Vieira didn't even make the squad against Chelsea. People were like, why didn't Vieira come in? I'm like,
that's why he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
But he falls in the category, I think, of players that you were saying earlier that don't get enough playing time. And I think when we need them, we're afraid to rely upon them. It's a little bit like, are they going to know what to do? Vieira was on like the cusp of starting a couple of weeks ago when after Kai kind of didn't work out in the left center mid position or whatever happened. And then now he's just not in the squad. Like it's so strange, but
it's weird.
Right now it's Odegaard plus someone. That's just how I see it. Odegaard plus someone. So I'm pretty sure our captain is going to play in a must-win game.
Of course.
Is this game a Tomiyasu game? Would you start him?
What do you mean? Like yeah, why not? I would. I miss Tommy, and the games that he's come on, he came on against City, he played against Chelsea. Like the games we've seen him play, we've seen him play at a good standard. So I feel like he's up for it. Like this is a must-win game. Tommy knows what it means. Like he can come in. Like I feel like we're not disrespecting these players, but it's like he's not someone that deserves to be pushed back to the side because he hasn't done anything to warrant that. Yeah, he made a couple mistakes last season, but everyone did.
Yeah.
So for him to be pushed aside, I don't know what the reasons are. Maybe because of tactics wise, Arteta just prefers playing Zinchenko in certain games. But defensively, Tomiyasu can come in straight away.
Yeah. I mean, but you just said like tactically Arteta prefers Zinchenko in some games, but I just feel like Arteta relies upon Zinchenko too much. Like we don't see enough
Really?
tactical variation between like some games you want Zinchenko to start and Tommy to finish the game. But other games I feel like you
Mm,
need Tommy to start and Zinchenko to come in. Because it's just like
that's true. Yeah, we haven't really seen that, have
we
we?
haven't seen it enough, I don't think. Like, I would imagine
Mm,
every single away game in Europe and every single big away game in the Premier League is a Tomiyasu game. Salah versus Arsenal, that's a Tomiyasu game. You know, any tricky
mm-hmm.
winger, that's a Tomiyasu game. I'm surprised that Arteta didn't go with him against Chelsea, knowing that he would have to go up against Sterling or Madueke or anybody, you know. But for me, it's like Tommy is also in form, and I think you have to capitalize when players are in form. You know, we don't do it
Yeah.
enough. So I think it is a Tomiyasu game, especially if you need some. Like Ramos is going to be up on every single corner, y'all. We need to make sure we get the ball out. I'm so afraid of that
Yeah.
header and it just be like, oh, first chance off of a corner, Ramos. Like I'm scared.
Typical Ramos, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it is a Tomiyasu game. I think we both agree on that. So the big one is the word on the street, Twitter streets, is that Raya is going to start against Sevilla. And I think a lot of people after Chelsea were calling for Ramsdale to come back in. Is that the right call to keep
After
Raya?
Chelsea, I feel like fans have been saying that from the get go because I feel like there's that sweetheart connection that like that's our boy type of thing, and he's had such a good. I feel like I've seen a lot that fans have been calling for Ramsdale, even with Raya, even before Raya even put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
But I can understand why there's been more of a call for it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Raya, I don't know if it's the pressure. Like, we have to understand that playing for teams like Brentford and Brighton and all these other teams that, we get players from and being exceptional there is not the same standard as playing for Arsenal and playing in the Champions League. Not me sounding like we've been there for years, but like I know we haven't been Champions League for years, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a different standard, it's a different level. And yeah, I feel like the pressure may be getting to him and that's not his fault. I feel like Arteta's caused that a bit because normally when a new keeper comes in, it's because the original keeper's done something wrong. It's not because we've got a new keeper, let's just throw him straight in because I think he's better than you. He needs to prove. You need to fight for the spot, and he didn't have to fight for it. It's like being siblings, or cousins, something, and someone gets treated better than the other one just for the sake of nothing. You didn't have to earn it. You just here's some pocket money. Here's a new Nintendo. Why didn't I get one? Oh, they have no money left. Like it just doesn't. That's a really bad scenario, but like it doesn't make sense how he's got something without earning it. And when people earn get things without earning it, they tend to feel guilty naturally.
Wow.
And there's people out there that just get spoiled or get things without having to do nothing for it, and in the back of their mind they feel guilty for it.
Yeah.
They tell themselves, I deserve to be here. I know I'm good, but at the same time, like, wow, what did I do that the other person didn't? And I'm kind of all these scenarios saying I could be so wrong, but this is how I see things.
But you could see that like maybe Raya is feeling the pressure, like it's already enough pressure as it is to come to Arsenal. Like I don't think people are taking into consideration that the 3 games that he's played against, like Manchester City, Chelsea, and Spurs, the 3 games that he struggled in, those are games that at Brentford don't matter. If you get slapped, no one cares because it's a free hit. Like it's a free hit. Like no.
But he done well against those teams at Brentford.
Yeah, so you go out there, you're free because you're like, if we get slapped, no one cares. At Arsenal, you're expected to win those games. That's probably the first time you ever played against Manchester City, and it meant the world. And so I think having that to take into consideration, on top of the fact that the entire media is against the decision that the manager has made to bring you in because you're displacing somebody that everybody loves. Like Raya's in a very difficult scenario. You know, he doesn't get like a
Yeah.
normal adaptation where when Kai first came in, everybody was like, you got to give him time. Got to give him time.
Yeah.
Raya's not
Goalkeepers are
getting
different.
given time. You're not getting
Hmm.
that. So yeah, I think he is in a difficult situation, and maybe there is a little bit of guilt there. That being said,
Yeah. And
go
also,
ahead.
I'll go
No,
on.
go ahead.
No, because I remember very briefly because I met him literally before he even played a game for Arsenal. So as soon as he signed, I met him, and I remember saying like, like good luck, like it's going to be a different. Maybe I was too cocky to say this, but I was like,
What did you
it's going to
say?
be a
What did you
different kind of.
say?
I was like, it's going to be a different kind of pressure. Like it's going to, but he was like, I'm ready for it. Like I'm ready. Like he was confidence. Like because I said naturally, it's like you just said, if you lose against Tottenham for Brentford, it's not a big deal. Well, it's a big deal, but do you know what I mean? But like if you lose with Arsenal, it's a different. It's a different. I said your life's about to change. Basically, the social media is going to be different for you. Like going out to a restaurant with your girlfriend's going to be different. Like everything's going to be so different for you. Everything's going to be maximized.
Mhm.
But he was like, I'm ready for it. Like your life's going to change, and it has. I don't think he's ever had to experience anything like he's going through right now at Brentford. You know.
No, I mean,
And in saying that, I do feel like it's quite unfair that Ramsdale, helped us get to qualify for Champions League football, and he hasn't even played Champions League football yet. So let's say, imagine the unthinkable, which I don't even want to imagine. Imagine we go out of the group stages, and Ramsdale didn't even get a chance to play Champions League football. I think that would be one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen for an Arsenal player. I think that'd be really, really harsh.
do you think that if the situation had been handled differently, that there could be a scenario where this works out and everybody's happy? Like it wasn't
Yeah.
immediately after an international break with Ramsdale. Like Ramsdale, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Ramsdale was performing that well, but I don't think he was
Mm.
performing so bad where you felt like we got to get rid of this guy. I don't think it was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
bad.
that's what. Yeah,
So maybe if they like had done it with a little bit more like child gloves, like it was very harsh, you know? Maybe if
yeah,
they did
just
it
sudden.
differently, it wouldn't be. And I think because maybe a lot of people feel underlying that this isn't goalkeeper competition and that it's something
Mm.
else. Did you believe, like, when Arteta was saying, like, goalkeeper competition, it's going to be two of them fighting against each other? Did you feel like that was something that, like, yeah, that makes sense? Or did you think, because my initial thing was like, oh, yeah, this is a slow breakup. Maybe I'm just negative. I don't know.
What do you mean a slow breakup? Like a slow breakup for Ramsdale? Like,
Yeah, like saying something like, saying it's goalkeeper competition and being like super defensive about it, by the way. Like, I don't think Arteta looked the most comfortable answering these questions, but he was being asked the questions and he was, yeah, it's two players. We have two players in every single position. Everybody's going to have to fight for the position. They're going to fight for it, blah, blah, blah. That's better than saying, you know what, Ramsdale hasn't been performing to the level. And so we brought in another number one,
mm,
you know?
it is better to say that.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, this could potentially be like the end. Then it's like, yeah, I
Um,
don't know. I felt weird about it. Did you feel like, yeah, this is just like the initial goalkeeping competition? Did you feel like that made sense?
yeah, I felt like it made sense because I felt like it was going to go down differently. I believed that Ramsdale would still play majority of the games. So I thought Ramsdale would keep playing the Premier League games. I thought Raya's first game would be against Brentford in the cup.
Me too.
Um, I thought that would have been his first game for Arsenal, and then I thought he would have just played a couple cup games, played Champions League as well, and then they would have just had to battle it out. And I thought he would have been slowly introduced. But maybe they're doing it this quickly because I'm under the illusion that because of I think it was the financial fair play or whatever reason it was, they couldn't sign him properly, so that's why we've got the loan. But the initial thing is that they're gonna make him number one next season when we buy him, when he actually belongs to Arsenal and is not a loan player. But I just thought they would have done it gradually, not just like
It was
you're for
harsh.
you're
It
who we
was
want.
like
Yeah.
very, yeah, it was tough because I think even Ramsdale played or like started a game for England in that same international
Mm.
break. It's like one
Oh
game.
yeah.
And then he played well, which was like crazy. And then like boom, he's gone. It was like I think it's
Mm.
more the way. I think a lot of people could get behind Raya potentially being our number one eventually if they felt like Ramsdale was treated properly. I do think that I'm okay with the club being ruthless and making decisions that they
Yeah.
feel like are going to make us better. But I think you
Mm.
do still have to recognize that causing you're causing friction that maybe you don't have to. So I don't know.
Yeah, you causing unnecessary problems.
Yeah, it's a rough one, but Raya is going to probably start against Sevilla, and I think people are going to be on him, which I hope he can put behind him because this is such an important game for us that there can't be any sort of like nervousness playing out from the back. He has to not have the moments that he's had in other big matches. So we'll see how that develops. On the other side of the pitch, though, I wanted to ask you about Kai Havertz potentially starting at number 9. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that they feel like he deserves a chance up there. Like, all of his best cameos have come playing in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be tempted to play him like at starting in the 9 position against Sevilla?
I wouldn't start him there, but I'd love to see him there feature during the game. I feel like it's too much of a risk to start him there. But imagine Arteta pulls that off. That would be amazing. But like maybe like 60th minute, 70th minute, regardless of what the score is, I think to introduce him into that role, not to start the game with it, because what we've seen from him, even beginning of the season at home, we were playing. I don't remember. It was probably Nottingham Forest, something like that. It was beginning of the season, and he was through on goal, and I was like, "What's he doing up there?" But he looked good. But I know he missed the chance, but like that was one opportunity, one chance. But I feel like if we see him there more often, something will come of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know, the midfield role is not working for me at the moment. It's considering the midfielders that we currently have, like with Emil Smith-Rowe, Vieira. Like, yeah, I feel like try and introduce him there and see what happens. If he does well, keep him there.
I think especially because like there's a little bit of like, okay, Jesus and Kedia right now, I don't think are quite giving us enough yet. And I want to be fair to Jesus because he is coming back off of an injury and he hasn't really played that much because Kedia started like 9 games or something this season. He started a lot of games. So Jesus has either been on the wing or not playing. So he might need some time to get back up to speed. But a lot of people want a striker. And, I think we have to find internal solutions. I'm definitely somebody that's like, yeah, I want to go into the market and buy players, but sometimes you can't do that. You have to find solutions within your team. Maybe I know that Kai Havertz is not prolific, but maybe just having a different type of number 9 up there that's a little bit taller, can win headers would be beneficial to an Arsenal team that's quite small up front. And so I'd be interested in seeing him play a little bit more there. Maybe, like you said, not starting against Sevilla, but as an option off the bench because maybe at some point we'll need Raya to be able to hit it long and somebody needs to hold it up or win a header or something. We need to be as tall as possible, I think, when they're putting in corners and things like that. So I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see it. And so I would imagine that we're going to see a quite similar lineup to what we saw against Chelsea, hopefully with tomiyasu in there, maybe with Thomas Partey instead of Jorginho, going something strong. And hopefully we get the win. But what is your prediction for the game in terms of score? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, girl. What do I think's going to happen or what do I want to happen?
Girl, is it different?
Yeah.
No. Well, give me what you think will happen and what you want to happen.
Actually, no, it's not different. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel 100% confident, which is annoying. Because especially when I'm spending all this money, I'm traveling now. I need to feel confident because these away days are not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I really want us to win. Okay, how I see it going, I see Sevilla scoring. Let's be real. I think we'll concede. It'll be a miracle if we keep a clean sheet. But I think I'll be generic and say 2-1. It's not going to be easy for either team. Yeah, because it's not going to be easy for either team. But it's probably going to be like 1-1 for a majority of the game. And then hopefully we score the winning goal. I love games like that as a neutral. But when it's my team, the pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
I understand the lack of like feeling 100% confident because I'm exactly the same. Like we just haven't seen enough of good performances or like from minute 1 to minute 90 performances from Arsenal. Coming off of the back of the Chelsea game, I think that wiped away a lot of the excitement for the Man City game. Like it's like, okay, are we good or no? Like what's going on? I'm worried a little bit, but I'm gonna back the boys and say that we're gonna win, like you said, 2-1. We're 100% conceding. I know that.
Oh.
I know that.
If Trossard comes on early enough, we're gonna win 3-1.
Yeah, potentially. So yeah, like I'll do some more watching of Sevilla and see how I really feel about it because maybe I'm just scared off of the clips that I saw when they played against Real Madrid. I was like, they're going to beat us up. But if we put out a team that's willing and ready to fight, we're still better than them. but you have to earn the right to
Yeah.
play. And we did not do that against Lens. So hopefully we get the win. But this was so much fun. I'm so happy that you came on. We got almost to the perfect
Thanks.
hour. Almost an hour
I
and
know. I'm so sorry for all the disturbances. It's half term here, so the kids are at home and they're just, I don't think they can go an hour without my attention, especially my youngest one. So we got through it. We got through
we
it.
got through it. I love it. This was so much fun. And for people that are listening, this will be broken up into two pieces. Obviously, like we talked about Arsenal women. You'll be able to see that. Talked about Sevilla. You'll be able to see that later on today. Today is Monday, so you're going to see it later on today because you have to, or else it doesn't matter, So there you go. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Pippa, can you let everybody know where to find you? Anyway.
So I'm on socials at Pippa_Monique. My YouTube's the same as Pippa Monique, and that's about it. That's where you can find me at.
Perfect.
I always do a phony American accent when I talk to you. It's so weird, sorry, but like it's just natural to me to be like, yeah, girl.
It's funny because like sometimes I will try to like do the English accent, but it always ends up sounding like some weird butler or something like that.
I've never heard it. Let me hear it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Was that English?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Absolutely not. You are right. Are you all right?
Got a bottle of water?
You want a bottle of water? So funny. Like only like it gets worse. Like if I have a couple of glasses of wine, it gets worse. Like I love it. Like watching Top Boy, I was like, this is amazing. What?
Oh god.
I've never heard the peas fam. I've never heard anything like that before. So I was like,
the peas. Like, where's the peas at?
We Americans love British stuff. We love it. I don't know why, but we just do. I don't know.
Me too. I love American stuff. I've been watching all the Ratchet TV. Well, I haven't in a while, but I used to watch all the Ratchet American shows.
If you want Ratchet TV, we will supply you with it because I don't know what's wrong with us, but we will supply you. And it's like almost like watching like an animal in a zoo. It's like, are they okay? What's going on over there? It's weird. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, you guys. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you guys felt about the show and everything. And yeah, up the Arsenal. A win against Sevilla. Let's go. Bye, y'all.
Let's go. Bye.